Your dreams and aspirations in life are under direct attack. I want to make this very, very clear. The reasons you may have been struggling to really make that change in order to actually get the things that you want out of life, that's going to require consistent daily action. In order to get past the fear walls or all the limiting beliefs that come with that, we have to first beat the enemy that I have here on the board today. You may be confused, but this, my friends, is the one that uproots all of our positive change. And it's really something that's inside the fear wall. And this is something I teach inside my program, True Diamond Mindset, where we help people break limiting beliefs so they can attract and live their dream lifestyle. So if that's you and you want to book a call below, you can do that. But today in this video, we're going to give you the whole secret assassin. There's multiple of these inside the fear wall, but we're going to give you one of them that we cover inside the program. And this, my friends, is the mental TP. Now, before you start to get confused about what the heck a mental TP is or what that even means or what I'm saying, I want you to understand something. You do not have an information problem, right? If you guys have been trying to create this lifestyle change or this business or your content or whatever it is that you're aspiring to do, if you guys have been trying to do that and you maybe are in the season of the Y over X, which if you don't know that, you can check out my fear wall video on my page, but maybe you're in a season where you are in the motivated state, you're in the positive trend, right? Your trajectory is the right way. This means you have started the change already. You have maybe gotten some things in order so you can start to do this new habit. Maybe you know, if it's a relationship thing, maybe you started to talk to people, maybe you cut some people off. You're right. You guys have started to take action. Okay. And as we know, every time we start to take action, you're always going to receive tests from the universe or God to make sure that you believe in the assumptions that it is that you have set out to decide or claim to be truth, right? So what this mental TP is the place, and it's not a physical place that we go to, obviously, right? It's not a place that's something that pops up, but it's a mental fortitude or a mental space that sometimes people on a journey of change can get trapped into. It can get stuck inside this TP or seemingly thinking they're stuck. And we're going to cover that in this video. And so therefore it holds them back. It holds them back from taking any more action. Or once they get started, you know, the things start to pop up, they enter the mental TP. And then that's where we start to see that backtrack towards the infinite loop of broken promises, right? You guys are starting, you start to go back, or we call it relapsing, or starting to do the things that you said you weren't going to do anymore, right? And as we know, every time that we say we're going to do something, start a plan of action to do that thing, take action, even worse, tell other people that we're taking action. When we don't do it, there's usually a lot of guilt and shame that comes attached to that. And then they start to harbor themselves into limiting beliefs. We start to end up in untapped emotions, which then start to harbor into thoughts. And then we start to take actions, and then things just get worse. We get more bad results. It just feeds the feedback loop. And next thing you know, you are very, very, very unhappy. So this is the mental TP. Again, we're going to break it down exactly what it looks like inside. Now, I want you guys to remember, this is probably the best drawing you're going to get in this whole presentation here, because I am a coach, not a author. So now we're going to laugh together at my presentation and look at the inside of the TP. Now, again, this is not a physical place, but what this is a place in your mind that when those kind of tests happen, instead of reaffirming the positive beliefs that we now know to be true about ourselves, instead of really crafting that wish fulfilled and living in the end as Neville Goddard teaches inside his books, right? If we're really doing that, we're not in here. But when we start to do that and the universe slaps us a test, this is what happens. So inside, I want you to picture this little area as like the fire, right? That's inside the TP, okay? Now this fire represents the new change that you are trying to make in your life, right? It is a good thing overall. But as we know with the fire, there are some other things that come, right? Like smoke. And since this TP is a closed place, as the fire starts to put off smoke, which is a natural byproduct of starting a fire, right? Again, please laugh at my drawings if you will, right? The smoke is a natural byproduct of the fire. However, you cannot continuously inhale smoke, right? So what does that mean in terms of self-improvement and in terms of making a change in your life? If the change in your life is the fire, right? And you guys are trying to, kind of craft this new self. And this new self has all of these different things that come with being that person, right? Oftentimes, if not all the times, in order to create a new self, we have to let go, sacrifice, kill, get rid of the old self, right? We have to let it go. And so attached with that are a lot of habits that we used to do that are no longer serving the new habit. So when this new habit starts to take place, the byproduct of that is the smoke. And what does the smoke look like? The smoke looks like doubt, right? The smoke looks like uncertainty. You guys know what words I'm saying here. These are just letters that we're squiggling, right? The smoke will look like imposter syndrome, where you guys are just believing that this isn't really for you. The smoke can look like, starting to have fallouts with people that you are close with because they are now seeing the smoke and they're out here with you, right? But they don't have this change, so they don't understand. Right. And so as we start to fill up our kind of mental TP with all these different negative feelings, what all of these things are trying to get us to do is to put this fire out. All these negative things are telling us we need to put this fire out so that way we can breathe inside this mental TP because we need air. We have to be able to breathe. You guys got to understand something. This is a mistake I made a long time on my personal development journey. If you don't properly clear the smoke, then you will burn out or choke out or not be able to breathe, right? Even if you guys are on a positive train, if you take that positive train by just trying to kind of, grind the gears of motivation and try to force yourself into things without doing anything to kind of help your old self die without exiting the TP, right? If you try to continuously sit inside and don't exit, right? You're just going to keep accumulating smoke. But what the smoke inside the mental TP wants you to do is put the fire out, which is a mistake. Why? Because the fire is useful. It creates the smoke outside of the TP is like a signal for us to how far we've gone, right? It creates warmth. We can go in for times at a time to go in and get what we need out, but we cannot stay here. But the other thing that happens is when our new habit is creating all the smoke, it covers up the exit. Right? The exit to the TP is very simple. And in fact, I think I said this earlier, but if not, I'll repeat it again. You know where the exit is. It is not a complex door or requires a lock and key. In fact, all you need to do is not struggle or work hard or to create more smoke or to put more wood on the fire. You don't need any more energy, right? You just need to get out of the mental TP. You need to go where the air is, and the air is outside. But the problem is sometimes when we think that we need to go outside, it's like, oh, wait, no, but the fire's in here. Wait, if I'm not working hard, then I don't think I'm actually getting ahead. Wait, are you telling me I could actually work less and have better results? I could be more happy, and it wouldn't come at the sacrifice of my security and my positivity and the people to trust and all of these things? No, right? If you could just clear the smoke, you don't have to throw the water on the fire. You could just leave and still have all the benefits of the fire. And you don't need to add any more wood. In fact, it will be a self-sustaining fire. That's the thing that people don't understand is that when you have faith in your ability and you have faith in the fire, that's going to keep going, whether you're in there to try to kind of mentally rake the coals and to add more wood and to do all this struggle, right? Even though it seems like a good idea, you're perpetuating the fire. You're still creating more smoke, and you're still not getting the space you need. So on a practical level, when we're trying to make a positive change, sometimes you have to give yourself grace. Sometimes it's not about just changing everything all the way. It's just recognizing that the change needs to happen, starting the change, start the fire. The fire does need to start, right? We have to start the fire to survive. But when we have to have some smoke, right? But we don't have to choke out on the smoke. So you don't have to burn out on the negative habit changes that come with you trying to make a life change. Listen, if you guys are on a diet or on a fitness journey and you have a cheat day, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit of smoke, right? It's just a little bit of going backwards. But if you start to stay, what happens if we stay in here? What happens if we focus on the smoke? Like, oh God, there's all this smoke coming. Like, oh my God, I'm messing up. I'm going backwards. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. If you stay in there, I'm trying to put more fire on though. I'm going to try to go. Yeah. I'm going to keep reading my books. I'm going to keep listening to what area says. I'm going to keep watching these videos. I'm going to show up on the coaching calls, right? These are all putting wood on the fire, which is necessary. Yes. But the critical part is to have faith and to leave. Because as soon as you leave, you take over for the special power, the universe, God, whatever you guys want to call it, to take over and to keep putting the fire for you. Keep putting it for you. You don't have to worry about it. Smoke will come, yes, but you're outside. See, faith is outside of the TP. It's not inside. The piece that people are often looking for inside of this journey. Oftentimes, people start the fire just to exit the smoke. Right? When the fire, like, you could just get out. So I know we're speaking in incredibly vague terms, guys, but sometimes I wanted to switch it up and relate to you guys that oftentimes people start the fire, they get the smoke, and then when they get the smoke, not only do the smoke say, hey, put it out, this is not good. They put out the fire, boom, it gets cold. Then you don't have any food. And part of that getting cold is understanding where we're at, being frustrated, having lack of fulfillment. Maybe you started the fire and you got some results, but because of all the smoke, and it affected other people in your life, they told you to put the fire out. And now, yeah, you don't have those problems with those persons. The smoke is gone, but you are not feeling fired up. Why? You put the fire out. How many times do we sacrifice what we want to do, the thing that inflames us, the thing that sparks us up to want to keep getting out of bed? Listen, guys, whatever you need to do to stay on the rock, that's what you need to do. If you try to shove that down, if you try to put your own fire out, if you try to do it to avoid the smoke, right? If you try to, you will feel the cold of the night. You will feel the suffering that comes from not having a purpose, from not chasing that. Perfect example. It doesn't matter how big your TP is, right? It doesn't matter how much you got. If you got a fire going, if you got some people you can enjoy it with, if you guys are outside the TP, then you're going to have a good time. I've met people who make a lot of freaking money and they are sad. They're upset. Why? They're in the TP. They've only placed money as the goal. They've only placed creating a bigger fire. Sure, they have a greater TP. They have a bigger flame, but that also comes with more smoke at times. And I'm not saying you guys shouldn't shoot for the moon. I'm just saying understand what the real life situation is. You can't be in it all the time. You'll choke out. So if you guys are in your own mental TP, right? If you are deep in there, right? Kind of in the cave. And remember, this is probably the greatest form of drawing you got here in this whole thing. But if you guys are there, just understand one of two things. You have two options from this. I told you I was going to give you everything. I'm going to give it to you right now. The easiest way to get out of a mental TP is to first identify the exit. So you guys all know when you quiet your mind, when you are able to ignore the smoke, when you're able to breathe for just a second and to look, kind of waft, right? Get the smoke out of the way for just a second. That's all you need. Just a second. A door will present itself. An opportunity will present itself. If you guys practice meditation or journaling or any sort of mindful type of activity, you will be able to find the door to your mental TP. You will be presented with something, an idea, a thing, right? That's going to take you out of the place you're in. And then the secret to having the will, because a lot of the times, guys, people get to right where they're at. You're like, dude, I know I'm choking out. I know I'm struggling. I know I'm frustrated. Here's how you get out. You have to assume that you've already made it out of the TP. Now, this may go over a lot of people's head, but I'm giving you the best advice I can give you for free. If you can make the assumption that you have already exited your mental TP, that you have already burnt it down, that you have already started a fire so big that it has to go outside of the TP, right? It's impossible to even go back, right? If you've done that, what would that feel like for you? How would you show up? How would you be talking to the people in your circle? How would you be going to work or your business or your relationship or with your kids? How would that look like and feel like to you? and hold that assumption. Remain faithful to that assumption. Walk with that assumption regardless of your senses, regardless of what reason denies it to be. So if right now your mental TP is telling you, I can never get better than this, I can never improve, my mindset is dog water, I'm never going to make, I'm never going to make millions of dollars, I'm only going to have this little bit of success and it doesn't feel like success because my wages keep going up, right? Like whatever it is, understand that as soon as you first assume that you have already healed from that it's already over, that you have already won because you have. And then you remain faithful to that assumption, it will come to pass. And if you want to work with me one-on-one to be able to help you burn these down and help you show you the door and help you pull you out every single time, every week inside my Inner Circle program, True Diamond Mindset, you can book a call below. But I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Peace, love, and prosperity. Get rid of the TP.